Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, I am brewing with the new Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Ninjas, courtesy of subscriber Iron Bars. This story goes back kind of a long way. Iron Bars, months ago, asked me to play a Keen Duelist deck, which is kind of like a weird backwards Dark Confidant that pays out for having gigantic spells in your deck. It was kind of a really cool show and tell Keen Duelist, have giant things, and then also have something to do with giant things deck. But as you can see, Keen Duelist is encircled in red on Magic Online, which means this card is not actually usable or available in the card pool. We put Iron Bar's deck on the back burner for months, and with just an open invite of anytime you want to submit a different deck while we wait for this card to be legal, you can do that. And we've run out of time, and a new deck has come forth, and it's kind of in a similar vein. Obviously, this deck is not a show and tell deck. This is a ninja deck, but we do have Yuriko, the Tiger's Shadow, which pays out pretty hard, much like Keen Duelist does when you reveal Blightsteel Colossus to it. And we have Satoru Umezawa, who gives Blightsteel Colossus ninjutsu, and that gives you something to do with this big clunker once it's in your hand. The list that Iron Bars originally sent me was much deeper on the Satoru, S-A-T-O-R-U, Satoru, okay, Satoru plan, and it was deeper on the fairy plan. And I lightened up both of those plans into a more coherent and consistent ninja shell. The original list had 2 Blightsteel Colossus and 3 Emrakul, or maybe it was 1 and 3. There was just a lot of this top-end stuff, and there was 4 Satorus, and that's just not how you build a legacy deck, unfortunately. Like, if you really want to kill someone Blightsteel Colossus, that's the way you build it, but you're going to lose a lot of matches with these clunkers in your hand. Because Satoru is a clunker. This is a 3-mana spell that doesn't win the game on its own, doesn't replace itself. It's a legend for Caracas. This is a very fragile Magic card to be playing in Legacy. And I didn't want it to be the whole plan. Like, if I wanted to put a 3-mana blue spell on the stack with the plan of killing my opponent with Emrakul, it would be show and tell, not Satoru Umezawa. So I cleaned that up, made it a little lighter. There was also a robust fairy package. Before I get into that, there's no Emrakul, because Emrakul, Annihilate doesn't trigger when you ninjutsu an Emrakul. The Annihilator trigger happens when you declare an attack, and ninjutsu the creature arrives tapped and attacking. And at that point, it's just 15 damage, which is a lot of damage, but I want them to be dead, just all the way dead. I'm not going to split Blightsteel Colossus and Emrakul. If this thing happens, I'm going upstairs. And the difference between 12 and 15, if you flip this thing off Yuriko, is not particularly substantial. It's just a gigantic dome either way. No Emrakul appearing in this deck, 2 Blightsteel Colossus, that is the payoff package. The fairy package, there was a full 4 Bitter Blossom to go with the 4 Spellstutter Sprite and a Vendilion Click in this list when it was first given to me. And I think we're just pulling the deck in 2 substantially different directions if that's the case. Like, Bitter Blossom does give you a steady stream of evasive attackers to turn on ninjutsu, but picking up a token creature is bad because it's just gone as soon as it leaves the in-play zone. With your ninjas, ninjutsuing them is only half of the conversation. The other half is, what did you pick up and how are you going to use it? And Spellstutter Sprite, this counters plenty of things in Legacy, even without Bitter Blossom or without other fairies in the deck. Lots of good 1-drops in this format. This is a great card to pick up and counter another 1-drop later. Also has flash, and it's evasive. If you've ever played Pauper, or if you've ever watched any of my Fairy Brews and Modern or Legacy, you know everything that this card does when it's paired up with a ninja is very impressive. I replaced the Bitter Blossoms with Changeling Outcast. This really is just the best ninja for enabling ninja stuff. It costs 1, it's unblockable. If you cast it on 1, it's gonna get in there on turn 2. And it is itself a ninja. Like, unlike something like Ornithopter, which is just an evasive attacker, Changeling Outcast is a ninja. And Yuriko triggers whenever a ninja you control deals damage to an opponent. You will get into board states playing Yuriko decks where Changeling Outcast is just good for several cards and a bunch of life on its own. There's no room in this deck for Ornithopter because this is not a 4 Retrofitter Foundry deck that can turn Ornithopter into gas. This is very much, instead of pivoting onto the Construct Beatdown plan, we just have this big ninja plan at the top end. Moon Circuit Hacker, I'm excited to try out. Ninjutsuing for 1 and drawing a card is a really, really good combination of things. I think there's only 1 ninja in Magic's history that ninjutsus for 1, and it's the unsummoned ninja, Moonblade Shinobi, I think is what it's called. Someone's going to Scryfall fact check me, and there's going to be some other shitter that does that too, but there might be a black one that makes your opponent discard for 1 black if you ninjutsu it. Okay, I'm going to rescind my statement. There are not many playable ninjas that ninjutsu for 1, and draw a card is definitely worth 1 mana most of the time. I'm excited to try this card out over more objectively powerful things like Ingenious Infiltrator. Just the ninjutsu for 1, I am very excited about. The removal spell of choice is Snuff Out, because you can't really play Daze in this deck because you're pretty mana hungry, even though you are low curve. You do want your lands in play. There were Fatal Pushes in this deck when I first got it. There was 1 Snuff Out, 2 Fatal Push. I just made them 3 Snuff Out. The tempo of a 0 mana removal spell when you're attacking with ninjas trying to get ninjutsu connections is so big that this is worth it. Also, if you flip this off Yuriko, your opponent takes 4. There's some minor synergy there with the rest of the deck. And the last card we haven't talked about yet is Kaito Shizuki. Kaito, 3 mana Planeswalker. At the beginning of your end step, if Kaito entered the battlefield this turn, he phases out. +1, draw a card, then discard a card unless you attack this turn. This deck's trying to do a lot of attacking. I'm hoping this is just like a one-sided Jace Bellerin, where we just +2 draw cards forever. And the -2 is create a 1/1 ninja that can't be blocked. This is sort of ninjutsu in a can. Like, you cast this, you make a 2/2, Kaito phases out, so he can't die this turn, phases back in on your next turn, you attack with the unblockable ninja, then you +2 draw a card, and he sort of like sets up his own engine here. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure this is a legacy competitive card, but Ironbar sent it to me in the list, and if it's going to work in a shell, this sort of mid-range, half ninja, half combo shell is where we're going to want it. So let's try these new cards while they're hot and exciting. Moon Circuit Hacker. I have high hopes for this one. Kaito Shizuki is cool. And let's hope Satoru Umezawa gets to Blightsteel somebody during this league. Let's jump into it. I'm on the draw in round 1. And Kaito is basically immediately put to the test here. I am going to keep this hand. It has 3 lands, 2 brainstorms, an interactive spell, an interactive effect in Wasteland. And if a card can solo a game with no backup, it's Kaito drawing a bunch of cards. Let's try it. Opponents in Urza Saga strategy, with Mox Diamond involved. Discarding Thespian Stage. Oof. It's under the gun from Loam right away. I am significantly less excited about this whole plan right now. Like, Thought Seizing lands isn't great. And I guess I have to do it. Alright. I'll Thoughtseize the deck that I know has at least 1 land in their hand. Okay, Pyrite, Spellbomb, and Punishing Fire, and Grove of the Burn Willows. Well, at least there's 1 viable target. This is the type of deck where having Force Negation would just be so much nicer than not having it. I do get to kind of checkmate their plan with this Wasteland, though. Because if they... Yeah, so they make a Saga. And by checkmate, I mean temporarily disrupt. Checkmate might be aggressive. But so they get to make a token. Their plan was to copy their Saga with Thespian Stage this turn, but I just set that back several turns of development. All right, they drew Valakut Exploration. And I'm in a lot of trouble here, just being on the draw against this completely non-traditionally interactive hand. It's a bad time. My basic lands didn't really line up to cast Brainstorm in a way that makes any sense. Tough crowd. Play from the Loam. I guess I'm going to Brainstorm anyway. If I find Force of Will, this could buy me a little bit of action. And if I find the third land, I could at least Kaito. I did find Force of Will. Ooh, some fairies also. All right, I'm going to put Kaito and Yuriko on top, and I'm going to force pitching Yuriko. Unfortunately, no land emerged from that Brainstorm. Yeah, this is a bad scene all around. Oh no, crop rotation with Spellstutter Sprite in my hand, just like that. Yeah, that was kind of a forced play to do it now, because they were trying to hit a land off of Valakut Exploration to hit their land drop for the turn. Disappointing. All right, Brainstorm needs to find a fetch land here. It did. That's lucky. I'm going to put back the extra Kaito and the basic land. They Flooded Strand. And now they're just going to Loam. I'm a fairy behind the curve here. I hope they... It's going to be hard to tap out a red. That doesn't even make sense. Like, Punishing Fire busts up my ninjutsu. Oh yes, please cast that Exploration. This is my window. Yes, yes, yes. This is how we do this. I can Spellstutter Sprite the Exploration. They tapped their only red source to do that. That turns off Punishing Fire. That lets me connect with at least one ninja one time. Not that I think this is really going to break the game open. We're a little far behind at this point, but we did get an exciting window there. Flusterstorm. That does hit Punishing Fire. And Yuriko is better than Kaito here. Ninjutsu. Flip the Blightsteel Colossus. Let's go. Swamp. I'll take a swamp. Pretty happy with a land drop here. Fortunately, Saga is now big enough to stop Yuriko from attacking. She has no evasion of her own. Loam. Storm is 1. They would have to pay 2 to get their Loam by Fluster. Yeah, I don't think that makes sense. Taking land drops now. Hitting Valakut Exploration. They're going to burn me out and attack me with the construct. Oh, cast the other Exploration. Oh, God, Magic Online, what are you doing? All right. Well, they do know about the Spell Stutter, but they have the Punishing Fire this time. They didn't just walk into it again. It does deny some action, though. Of course, Mazavith was under the Valakut Exploration. Oh, they've seen Wasteland, and they're still fearlessly attacking into this. Okay. 2 Spell Stutters. Well, I have still attacked this turn. I'm going to get in with Yuriko, and then Kaito can draw a card. This Kaito, plus draw a card. And I think holding up Flusterstorm is better than pondering, but if I ponder into land, then I can do both and move my game plan forward. Yeah, I'll try that. Ooh. If I snuff out, I lose. What does Wasteland do? Not much. I'm gonna be dead this turn. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Alright, I'm gonna concede. Between the attacking creature, the constructs, everything, this Wasteland needed to show up this turn, clip the maze, and then Yuriko trigger for a miracle. But, ooh. This hand, I think, actually would have lined up well against anyone playing normal Magic, but lands is not that. Back to basics coming in. Hydroblast and Blue Blast coming in. Or some negation coming in. Probably a reasonable Bitter Blossom matchup as well. Snuff Out does not play here. I don't love Force of Will. Most of the things are lands, or they don't care if it resolves. Though I guess that's not true with the various exploration flavors. Alright, back it up. Slow it down. I'm going to board out a Kaito and a Satoru. I just need my deck to be aggressively sleek right now. Thoughtseize is not good. I need to get ahead and stay ahead is the plan. Back to basics. Like, distract them until I can stick back to basics is basically the whole strategy here. And with only one Satoru in the deck, I only want one Blightsteel. Yeah, I'm going to run it like this. Just a massive sideboard shift. Okay. I like an opening start with Outcast and Wasteland. Going to move in on the Outcast, of course. And this is the type of card that sets up my best draws. We'll see if they react violently to it or... Okay. Not quite a violent reaction. Ooh. Hacker. It's not sexy, but it's not nothing. I am at least going to get a card off of this. Wish this was Yuriko, but it's just Hacker. Attack their hand. Yes, I would like to draw a card. And I can redeploy my Enabler. That's cool. They have to decide if they want to let me loot or let me keep enabling ninjutsu business. Force of Negation is a card that I like a lot, of course. I'm going to ponder and see what they want to say about that. They are killing my Outcast in response. I have nothing to say about that. I have another Outcast. Do I want that isn't important. Like, Moon Circuit Hacker still loots this turn. I don't think I want these cards, though. I'm going to shuffle. I can do better. Like that one. And I'm going to sit on the Wasteland until have a really good target for it. Yes, I will loot. Oh, the old post-combat Yuriko. You love to see it. I'm going to discard Ponder. Or is it Force of Will? It's Force of Will. I could have picked up the Moon Circuit Hacker after it dealt damage, after I drew the Yuriko. You're still in combat. That just doesn't do anything you actually want it to. Ooh. Where were you a second ago? I'm going to attack. They didn't Rashad and Port me. Because they're trying to fire me. That makes sense. Not a fairy, huh? Nope. Human ninja. I'm going to Force of Negation this. Hard cast mode. Hope they don't have Red Blast. Ouch. Alright, my life is pain. I'm going to Wasteland the Grove of the Burn Willows. And if they have Loam also, I'm in trouble, but making the plays I can make. I can't just let them have Punishing Fire. Exploration. They tricked me into tapping out a Spellstutter Sprite. Wasteland's not going to find a target. Got that going. Oh, Jesus. All right. Their hand lined up extremely well. They're playing like grandfather loam over there, like grandfather lands. Like Punishing Fire is barely even in lists anymore, but it is working here. Blightsteel Colossus goes back into the deck, and I think I want to just lean in, get rid of the Narset, because if I play Changeling Outcast, then Spellstutter Sprite is for 2. It can hit Punishing Fire. Yeah, I'm going to try to set up here. Here's my Outcast. I didn't Dredge Loam. Picked up their fire. If they're really smart, they'll waste my fetch land. Alright, I'm not going to fall for that. We're in my turn. They have the mana to port me and cast Punishing Fire. That's disappointing. I'm going to fetch. I know I don't want to draw the cards that are there. Another Swamp. Force of Negation. Not mad about that one. I am tapped out of blue, which I am a little disappointed in. And I'm still going to make this play that I have. Yeah, they have Fire and Loam. I have the Force of Negation. It's just not quite enough. I guess we'll see if they dredge Loam and if they hit things I care about. Those are the 2 questions. They did not dredge Loam. Okay. They can 1-2, 1-2-3. Oh, they have a second Punishing Fire? Get the fuck out of here. Alright, if they have a red source in their hand, what happens? Guess I'm just gonna Force a Negation this. It's Yuriko or bust. Oh, I have 2 creatures in play. And remove one of them. That's gone. They removed the right one, unfortunately, because Yuriko goes off with the other. They are hellbent right now. We're gonna get one big Yuriko trigger this game and hope that it pays out. I would love to find that Planeswalker, whatever his name is. Yuriko. That wasn't what I wanted. And now Retrofitter Foundry can just block Yuriko indefinitely. That second Punishing Fire. Jeez. We were so set up. I did my best. This matchup is horrendous. but I did my best with what I had. And they milled Mazavith immediately. Back to Basics is still in the deck. Let's go. There's still a plan. Double Spell Stutter. I don't think that does anything important. If I attack with Yuriko, how bad does that get? I think she's better as a blocker. Yeah, they have Mazavith, so I'm not even really like bluffing anything here. Bought back Punishing Fire. Made a servo. Wastelanding me. Okay, I'll fetch. You have a lot of basics in the deck. That was probably just free to do because they have more land drops than they have lands right now, and they're gonna loam. Loam picking up Caracas. My window's getting smaller, folks. I will block a servo. The plan here is back to basics before I'm dead. Okay. Just threw that right in there. I'm gonna double sprite this. Just try to keep attackers on the board. They can buy it back and cast it again, but Yuriko was already answered from Caracas. They should kill a sprite here, I think, not Yuriko. Alright, they disagree. Back to basics off the top, please. Everything hurts. I can't even really attack because they can flip their servo into a Thopter. They can kill all my creatures with back to basics this, or with Punishing Fire this turn anyway. I'm really just YOLO drawing to back to basics, and they just found Dark Depth, so even that might not be enough. I'm not going to block these. I might need these flying blockers for the Merit Lage. Come on, Brainstorm into back to basics and Brazen Borrower. That's the play. Nope, that's too many lands. Okay, we're dead. That was a really tough matchup, and they drew well. Like, the things that they had lined up well against what I was doing, and vice versa. Just not great. Didn't find it back to basics. Tough matchup without the help from the sideboard cards. On to the next one. I'm on the draw in round 2. Island, Ponder, Keep, right? That mantra is a little different in a deck like this, but I am going to keep. A Scalding Tarn from the opponent. Island, Ponder, Keep. They watch my channel. I'm flattered. Oh, the third Yuriko. That's definitely what I was looking for. Ponder. Probably Brainstorm to clean up this Yuriko situation. I'm going to shuffle these 3 non-lands away. Okay, another non-land. No sweat, right? Didn't draw a land. Time to Brainstorm and hope they don't counter it. This is the Fairy Mirror. I'm quitting Magic. They just spell stutter me there. That would be it for me. Logging out forever. Okay, I found a land. I'm going to get rid of Umezawa and one of the extra Yurikos. Even get to fetch basic black and cast Changeling Outcast here. Off we go. We're fetching. Is it Tundra time? Oh, basic Plains time. That does the same thing. Yep. No answer to that one right now. Ponder. They chose to shuffle. Is this my window? Oh, they're passing priority. No land drop, but I don't have one either. Now I do. Nice. Okay. Now I can Spellstutter Sprite and then Yuriko it. Or I could just play Moon Circuit Hacker. Oh, but they're probably going to try to cantrip again this turn. Alright, yeah, I'm going to hold up Spellstutter with Fluster backup. And if they just don't cast a spell, I'm going to jam Fluster in the end step. I guess I could jam Brazen Borrower in the end step. That's a good one too. So one of these gets Swords to Plowshare, the other doesn't. Because of Fluster. Alright, yeah, I'm going to go with Spellstutter in the end step. I just want to start connecting with Yuriko while they're soft over there. Oh. Needed that to wait 1 second here. You want to flip that off Yuriko and not have it in your hand when you're about to connect with her. Ninjutsu. Dress down. Okay, sure. So Yuriko is just a 1/1. Doesn't draw cards. Can't counter that. I don't think Moon Circuit hacking them matters here. Yeah, I think I'd rather just have Yuriko face up and play than... Like, I could deal an extra damage with Hacker, but the mana matters. Alright, yeah. I'll just hold on. They found their land. Oh no, I really don't want to get to ferried here. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, great. Fluster Storm. Let's go. Yeah, they're going to plow, and I'm going to Fluster. Then Yuriko will get to chew up the Snapcaster in combat. And then I'm holding up Spellstutter going into their next turn. I'm not gonna like Brazen Borrower or Bouncing Snapcaster Mage. That's crazy. The temporary tempo and card advantage, that's not worth it. They're just gonna have to block here anyway. Yep. Put their creature directly in the graveyard. And still missing land drops. I would feel so comfortable in this game if I could spell stutter twice, but I just have the one instead. But now if they Teferi, I can spell stutter in response and at least have 2 creatures, so Teferi isn't a clear. Fetching red mana. Oh, this is probably Prismatic Ending. Ending for 3. I cannot counter that. I am going to flash in spell stutter in the end step. They already know about it. Got to keep my ninjutsu moving forward. If this eats a Force of Will, I'm not even mad about it. Brainstorm in response. Okay. Yeah, they might as well do that now because as soon as I have mana again, I'm going to pick up the spell stutter. Whether they're digging for Force here or not, that's just the clean spot to cast Brainstorm. 2 looks at a land. I'll take a Force of Will. Pretty happy with that. Still very interested in this land. Second Yuriko. Land? Yuriko found Snuff Out. That was a nice chunk of damage, but not super useful. It's basically up to Force of Will to keep this Yuriko connecting. Though the Snuff Out is nice. If they try to just chump with Snapcaster or something, Snuff Out plays there. Ending. I'm going to force pitching Spell Stutter. They've seen the Spell Stutter twice now. Oh, actual counterspell. That's fun. Cool. All right. And now hopefully their shields are down on Spell Stutter. Oh, Ninja Guy is here. Is that what I want to do? Or do I hold up Spell Stutter? I think jamming a Planeswalker of any variety against this deck makes sense. Okay. Here's Kaito Shizuki. Legacy staple Kaito Shizuki is on the stack. Oh, you're a Daze deck? Come on. Alright, can't pay for that. Passing the turn. Oh, is this a Monastery Mentor deck? I'm just trying to figure out what the hell deck has Daze in it that also plays the cards we've seen. Let's find out what the Thoughtseize. Wait, Force of Negation, alternate casting. Like, they have 5 mana up right now and just chose to pitch cast Force of Negation if we're a 2-for-1 instead. Alright. I don't know what's going on with that. They didn't cycle Shark Typhoon, which is what I would have expected after that play. I don't know. I just don't. I could have played Moon Circuit Hacker, but I think their hand sucks right now. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. And like Spell Stutter has a lot of upside if they're trying to find the Ponder or Brainstorm to fix their shitty hand. Oh, and I drew Yuriko. Hell yeah. I think I'm actually going to Moon Circuit Hack this turn instead of Yuriko because that leaves up Spell Stutter if they have a removal spell. The 1 mana payoff here is pretty big. It looks like we connected. Drawn a card. Found the land. My goodness. My goodness. It's time. I have a land. And if I can Spell Stutter and Ninja Yuriko next turn, then I'm still holding up Spell Stutter. And I get 2 triggers off Yuriko. Brainstorm in response. The Spell Stutter being face up made them play this turn really awkwardly. They would have loved to main phase that Brainstorm. Because now they can only play instants that they draw instead of Planeswalkers and Ponders and all this other stuff that they would rather do. Now I'm feeling pretty good. I think we're in snowball mode at this point. They're plowing that. I have another Spell Stutter for that one. And they just conceded. They don't even need to see the Yuriko. All right. Yeah, that's the sort of game I was trying to sign up for last round when my opponent just made a bunch of land drops instead. Picking apart mid-range decks is what we're trying to do here. Narset's good. Bitter Blossom's good. I think I like Flusterstorm based on what we've seen. I feel like this deck's going to have Monastery Mentor in it. Like, Daze is such a weird card to have in Jeskai control. They got to be up to something. Kaito was actually going to be sweet if it resolved, just running amok on a stable board against control. That's what you're looking for. I don't think I want Snuff Outs, and I think I can shave a Force of Will. My try-hard instinct is to shave this package as well. Like, I really think this is too cute for Legacy. but I am going to leave it in. If an opponent's going to fart around and give me opportunities to do something to connect with Blightsteel Colossus, it's going to be this opponent in this sort of matchup. Though I think I really do need to go down to one Blightsteel Colossus. Just have it as a thing you can do, but I played that whole game with a Blightsteel Colossus in my hand. That was really bad. Okay. I like the 2 Plague Engineers. I'm just hedging against Mentor. And in we go. This hand seems reasonable. I'm going to keep it. They didn't see Wasteland game 1. I'm kind of hoping they get greedy and I can just punish. Just going to Underground Sea and pass. Oh, Caracas. Happy to Wasteland that one. Since my hand isn't doing anything anyway, I'm just going to crack off this Wasteland and hope to cheese. Like, I got a bunch of lands. I don't have a 2... Well, I kind of have a 2-drop, but not really. And Caracas will mess up the plan that I was trying to execute here anyway. Ooh. I'm going to cast that next turn with Flusterstorm back up. We've seen Prismatic Ending and Daze out of them. I can't just jam it now, but that is a really nice one if we're trying to play Draw Go here. Hope they're not a Stifle deck. I guess that's possible. Okay, I actually need to fetch now because if I crack my fetch, like if we get into a counter war and I crack my fetch to cast Fluster, they can Daze in response. And then it's like playing without mana, but by fetching proactively, I get to use my mana to fight over Daze if necessary. I left a Bitter Blossom in the sideboard from Iron Bar's original deck that had 4 in the main. I left 1 in the sideboard exactly for these control matchups. I kind of wanted 2, but I felt like control was where the matchup was good anyway, and we needed more help against like Combo and Delver. But if you really want to beat control, if your local metagame is full of control decks, you could play 2 Bitter Blossom in the sideboard, and it's really going to smush out of the sideboard. Which is resolved. I hope they're counting on Prismatic Ending, but if they go land Prismatic Ending, that's good enough anyway. They're making moves now. They did just Brainstorm, so a shuffle makes some sense. Hell yeah, they didn't have the land. They could pay for 1 Flusterstorm and Daze the other, but I'm going to get either a clean counter or some kind of 2-for-1 out of this exchange. They could Fluster my Fluster. That would be a clean 1-for-1 on their side. They also, if they haven't made their land drop, like if they don't have a land drop in their hand, Daze, they could immediately replay the land, so it's not even that bad of a setback. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they are dazing one and paying for the other, exactly. Like I said, they could do. Tight. They even picked up the red source for Pyroblast. Okay, that was a good draw. I'm gonna play Shizuki. I should do the Daze. I guess I don't really need to do the Daze trick. Yeah, they don't have Wasteland. Here's Kaito. Please don't Red Blast it. Let me have my sweet Planeswalker. You jerk. I'm definitely forcing this. I think Kaito is going to pay for himself. It's just, do I think that Yuriko, Moon Circuit Hacker, or Brazen Borrower does the most? I'm going to pitch Hacker. And I'm going to make a Ninja. And then Kaito will phase out. Pretty cool first appearance of this card. Just fades into the shadows down here. The fairy is very strong against creature tokens. Sorry, creature ninja token. You tried. Opponent has 5 spells in their hand. They've missed a land drop officially now. Ponder. Okay, I like Thoughtseize. And... okay, so if I... All right, I can Thoughtseize and then see what I need to do from there. Thoughtseize you. Dress down, Ponder, Ponder, Shark Typhoon. Those are all kind of annoying. But Swords to Plowshares is the worst one. I'm going to take the Plow. Plus Kaito. I'm going to discard... I think it's Yuriko. Like, Brazen Borrower does line up well against Shark Typhoon, at least. I have more Yurikos than I have Brazen Borrowers in the deck. And then I'm going to just cast Moon Circuit Hacker. This way, if I get attacks going, like attacking with Moon Circuit Hacker lets me just plus Kaito just for cards. And cards are the way we're going to win this game. They are currently ahead, but it's tentative, and we both have powerful Planeswalkers in play. I think mine's actually a little better on this board state than theirs is. And I'm going to attack to Fairy with Hacker. All right, my creature turned sideways. That gives me the activation of Kaito that I'm looking for. If they want to spend their Shark Typhoon answering this, that's fine. I get to plus and draw a card. Shark Typhoon is handled. Second main, plus Kaito. Did attack this turn. Brainstorm's a good one. Keep these hits coming. Okay, cool. I can get rid of the bad lands. The not good lands. There are no bad lands in this deck. And then I'm going to Plague Engineer on Monk. Unfortunately, Monk tokens are just monks and not humans. Monastery Mentor is a human monk. Snapcaster Mage is a human wizard. Could have named Shark. But this thing has Death Touch anyway. A 2/2 trades with a 3/3 the same way if one of them has Death Touch. Fetching immediately. Snapcaster Mage, bummer. Should have named human. What do you know? I suspect they'll take out Kaito here and not Plague Engineer. Yeah, they have the Red Blast. Disappointing. Maybe I'm supposed to name human there. Now I know. I'm gonna clear those bad cards. I'm gonna get the other Underground Sea. Brainstorm, still a good card. Turns out. There's basically no removal in my deck right now. I can Brazen Borrow Snapcaster Mage and then Ninjutsu Yuriko. But that plan doesn't even sound good. Can't cast Flusterstorm. I guess I want Yuriko on top. I'm just going to attack to Fairy and then cast Brazen Borrower. Maybe I'm not supposed to attack because now they only have to worry about one creature. I'm willing to believe that was bad. And I'm just going to cast 3/1 Fairy mode on Brazen Borrower. And I'm not going to Ponder yet. I know that the card on top of my deck is one that I'm interested in. And Ponder gets really awkward if you want one of the cards, but not the rest. I'm going to draw Yuriko next turn and then Ponder. Wow, Force of Will pitching Dress Down. Maybe I am going to Ponder. No, I can still cast Yuriko next turn. Teferi can bounce her, but this Ponder... I definitely don't want the Flusterstorm as long as Teferi's in play. Can't believe they forced that Brazen Borrower. What the hell? That's crazy. They must really think Teferi's going to win this game on its own, and it kind of has, so maybe they're right. Okay, nope, Jace. All right, if they knew Jace was coming, then that's a very easy way to do this. They bottomed the Yuriko, which forced the Flusterstorm on me, which is a card I actively don't want right now. This game is over. All right. I'll shuffle this. All right, yeah. I'm just going to concede this one. I'll save us all some time. Yuck. Yeah, I guess if I name human on the Plague Engineer, that game has completely different texture because Snapcaster's not in play to trade. I was getting too clever with the monk. I should have just named what I know. I think this setup is still good. Like I could cut one of the Plague Engineers and bring the 4th Force of Will back in and really try to just punch through the early interaction. Just not convinced that's a good plan. All right, I'm just going in. I'm not going to bring in Hydroblast Dance or Pyroblast. There's not really room to do that. I am on the play with Fairy into Fairy. No Ninja, no third land yet, but we have the first couple turns lined up pretty well here. If they just snap off removal on this, I'm not even disappointed. Prismatic Vista. If they do have removal, they have to fetch Plains, which makes everything else they want to do this game pretty awkward after that. Yeah, I'm not going to fight over that. Ponder? Okay. I'm just going to Wasteland go. I kind of like Spellstutter more than I like Ponder right now. If they have a Swords to Plowshares, they got me. If they don't, I got them. Daze also works here. But hopefully we just get this clean little taste. Oh my god, they're casting Force of Will. Force pitching Narset. Wow, this is that important to you? I'm going to force pitching Brainstorm. Let's have this fight. If this matters to them this much, then I like it. If they dazed or plowed, I wouldn't have forced, but if they're going to 2-for-1 themselves to try to resolve Ponder, I'm in. Oh my god, they just don't even know how this works. They could have had their Ponder. All right, land off the top. Let's go. Come on, deck. All right. Ponder, let's find the land. Land, Force of Will, Flusterstorm. Okay. Flusterstorm, Force of Will, land. Do not shuffle. Like, I can't play a spell until next turn anyway, so I don't need to make the land drop, and I can hold up Force of Will in the meantime, and then punch Kaito through on this empty board. Kaito Shizuki, greatest ninja in the multiverse. Gonna make a ninja, try to get my engine online. Phase out, lurking in the shadows. They had nothing go, and now I have Flusterstorm. Gonna go for my attack here. All right, looks like it's happening. I'm not gonna get fancy, like, and brainstorm into Yuriko or whatever. I'm just gonna sit behind this wall of counterspells and get this Kaito advantage. I will cast Ponder, though. That's a good one. All right, now I am more interested in putting my foot on the gas. Changeling Outcast is here. I can Yuriko next turn with Force of Will backup with 2 ninjas in play. Oh, okay. They care about that one. All right, I'm not going to fight over that. I would have flustered it if I could, but I can't, so I won't. I even have Caracas covered, which is the card I'm normally worried about here. Seeing that interaction, though, reminded me that in order to cast Yuriko, I would have to tap out of Flusterstorm protection, and I'm gonna be patient. I can draw extra cards and relax. Nothing go for my opponent again. They have 5 spells in their hand. All right, I found Polluted Delta. Now we're going in. Sucks to pick up a token creature, but that's okay. Ninja's gonna ninja. Swords to Plowshares. Gonna Flusterstorm that. They are clearly a deck that could play Back to Basics or Blood Moon. I'm just hoping that they're not doing that in the game 3 after they saw a million basics game 1 and 2. Yuriko has connected, revealed basic island. Kaito plus. I think drawing a card there is better than making a second ninja, though I can see the argument to just making another ninja and keeping the attackers coming. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to 2-for-1 myself. I have the replacement Yuriko now. Plague Engineer. I'm going to brainstorm first, see where that goes, and then make some decisions. I love a Thoughtseize, love a Narset. Yuriko's not happening this turn. I can tuck her. And Plague Engineer is not happening this turn either. Oh, I should tuck them the other direction, though. Plague Engineer, and then Yuriko. I'm probably just going to Thoughtseize, cast Narset, make a ninja. Ooh. Press down Teferi red cards. Taking Teferi. Then I'm casting Narset. And then I'm going to make a ninja, and I'm not going to activate Narset because I know the cards on top of my deck are things that I want. She can just be in play as a stacks piece. Oh, that's Pyroclasm? I thought it was Pyroblast. I care even less now. Oh, we took the right card. Skadoosh. Alright, I don't want Plague Engineer anymore, so I will activate Narset. There aren't a lot of spells in this deck. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, are we actually going to hit? And I'm not going to Yuriko. They have the dress down. They're going to want to cast it this turn anyway to draw the card while they can. Going to draw another card with Kaito. Oh, fuck yeah. I was going to Wasteland them and then play Bitter Blossom. But now I'm wondering if I even need to Wasteland them at all. Black, colorless, Bitter Blossom. Yeah, I'm not going to waste. I'm just going to play Yuriko and Bitter Blossom and put my foot on the gas. Kaito's drawn me so many extra cards this game. It's bonkers. Okay, so Dress Down happens. Dress Down is going to be present for their turn cycle, which means they can't Snapcaster Mage me. So red mana is like low level concerning. Okay, they do have the mountain, but what do you hit? Like, yeah, take out Yuriko. Go nuts. I'm not even worried about that. I'm going to save my Force of Will. That's just... I just have 3 permanents in play. 3 blue permanents in play that are trouble for them, and a black one that they can't interact with anyway. I'm going to waste right now before they can use the mana during my turn. And brainstorming here looks pretty good. They packed it up when that brainstorm hit the stack. I guess Kaito Shizuki was too much. Legacy staple. Count it. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play with kind of a heartbreaker. I have the Ninja, I have a mountain of payoffs, but no blue mana for the Yuriko. I can YOLO this one. Let's see. There are 1, 5, 9, 13, 14, 15 blue lands in the deck. There are 53 cards in my deck. That's like somewhere between 1 and 3 and 1 and 4 cards as a blue source. And I'm just not doing anything if I don't hit it. Yeah, I have to mulligan this. Alright, I'll keep this one on the strength of Broken Legacy staple Kaito Shizuki. Man, I would have traded any card at random except for Changeling Outcast in that last hand for an island and been really happy with the result. Gonna Delta go. Oh, it's the mirror match. Another Delta. Ponder. Okay, Polluted Delta for Volcanic Island and casting Ponder. Delver would have liked to have a threat there, but they don't have 10 1-drops anymore with Ragavan gone. They're back down to 8. Ponder is going to happen some amount of the time, more often. They also mulliganed, which gives me combo vibes, which is like a silly thing to say because I also mulliganed, but getting vibes. I'm going to brainstorm now in case I hit Changeling Outcast. Flusterstorm's not bad. I'm going to put Underground Sea and Yuriko on the top of the deck. I'm pretty okay drawing Yuriko. I'm also okay shuffling Yuriko away if I need to Flusterstorm, and if I need to cast Force, I want to pitch Satoru. I don't actually know if Satoru sees you activate ninjutsu if you ninjutsu him. Like, we didn't talk about it, but whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one in your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order. This ability triggers once each turn. Like, I don't actually know if you attack with Satoru and ninjutsu it, if it triggers. I looked at the... I'm actually going to fetch here. I don't want Yuriko. I looked at the release notes for Neon Destiny, and Satoru's entry didn't say anything about that. Okay, I drew a 2-drop. I can cast it with Flusterstorm up. The race is on. Let's see if they Lightning Bolt this or just try to put an Emrakul in front of it. What kind of Volcanic Island deck are you? They did not shuffle their Ponder last turn. I'm going to Fluster this. I'm just going to beat up on it. If they're casting Expressive Iteration, they're probably a deck where Flusterstorm isn't going to get a whole lot better. Like, if this was Show and Tell, they wouldn't have EI in here. Oh, just snap dazing. Do you know how this works, or do you have 2 dazes? Okay, here's the other Flusterstorm. Is it double daze, or do you not know how it works? Wow! Daze and Force of Will. Holy guacamole. Alright, resolves. I'm not going to force that back. That was crazy. I'm going to lock in my profits on that one. But blue-red confirmed. Lightning Bolt entered the Exile Zone. That's fine. You can bolt my guy. Play around Daze here with the mighty Kaito Shizuki. Unbeatable. Make a Ninja and phase out. Pass the turn. They could just slam Murktide Regent here, which I would have to Force of Will. DRC, somehow a 1/1 in their 8-card graveyard. Lightning Bolting, my bro. If I Force of Will, I no longer have an answer to anything. Yeah, I have to let this bolt happen. All right, happy to loot that card away. I'll Polluted Delta action. Oh, that's a little exciting. Spellstutter Sprite, normally pretty good. Right now I'm going to cast Satoru. If we're going to cheese a game with Blightsteel Colossus, it's going to be this one. LFG. If the Dragon's Rage Channeler can get Delirium this turn, Kaito's dead. If it can't, we're in good shape. There are no creatures or artifacts in their graveyard. They kept the card on top. Do I Force of Will this? I think I do. I'm like tentatively trying to take over the game with my Planeswalker. And just, this feels like a pressure point to me, and I'm going to try to exploit it. Blightsteel off the top. Let's go. Blightsteel. I'm going to attack. Hopefully they have the fear in them and they just block. but that would be so bad. Just between you and me, a block here would be horrible. Okay. And I'm going to activate Kaito. Yeah, Snuff Out. Happy to see that one. Another ninja. Snuff Out answers Murktide Regent. Another expressive iteration. You got it. I'm done fighting over those. And by done, I mean incapable currently. Probably should have killed Channeler before the EI resolved, because if they just find Counterspell now, it's bad. Just making moves. Cracking fetches. Lemon spells. Second Channeler. The first one is going to attack and should kill. Yeah. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to try anyway. Like, we're at the phase of the game where I need to be pushing forward with basically any resource that I have available. And push forward with my creatures. They get a cheeky little block right there. But then Kaito gets out of attack range. Not really interested in a wasteland here, but I'm going to use it. If I can constrict them in any way, I'm going to. Sucks I haven't drawn a creature yet. I want to trigger the first ability here would be really good also. Okay, Kaito goes to 1. They're passing the turn. Ooh, Yuriko. Don't mind if I do. Going to attack with my 2 creatures. They go... Don't block. I'm gonna... Normal ninjutsu. Yuriko. Oh, that's Commander Ninjutsu, not Ninjutsu. Tilt. Okay, so they got their lightning bolt on Yuriko here. Commander Ninjutsu. I just gave up a card for some reason. For obscure rules interactions. Kaito, draw another card. Let's keep it going. Thoughtseize. Generally not a card I'm interested in a matchup like this, but if their hand has Murktide in it, now's the time to know that. Okay, 2 wastelands, sure. Right, their hand is functionally empty. Right, there's that. Here are my things versus your things. We're both top decking. Now wasteland actually has a target, but I'm pretty far ahead of that. Oh no, Ponder. 2 of their Murktides are accounted for. They did not surveil into the graveyard. That's the worst news I've ever heard. This 2/4 butt on Satoru has been pretty insane, though. Yeah, if I knew that Commander Ninjutsu wasn't ninjutsu, according to Satoru's rules text, I would have paid 4 for Yuriko last turn just to get the card up front. Now we're just going to die to Murktide Regent. My life is pain. It's just the full 8/8. Oh! Oh! I'd like to attack with my creatures, please. Oh, they're going to be so mad. Hadoken. I'll put Yuriko in my hand. Wow, that's life points and infect points. They're at 11. Dead to poison. This whole league, whatever else happens, this video is worth it. Okay, the Blue Blast come in, Flusterstorm comes in, Fatal Push comes in. Narset's always in a weird spot because I like how she denies their cantripping, but I hate how she's a blue card that dies to Red Blast and Bolt, and a 3-drop, which plays into Daze. I don't like any of those things about her. Despite it coming in huge there, I think that the Satoru Blightsteel plan has to get trimmed. At least trimmed, maybe cut entirely. Because they're going to have Red Blast now. It's not getting better for old Satoru here. I don't really like Back to Basics, but I am a more aggressive deck than the decks I normally play Back to Basics in. Generally, my objection to having Back to Basics against Delver is that you don't close fast enough and they'll eventually just draw a Red Blast and clear it. But this deck's actually good at attacking, which is unusual for decks that I play. But I still think Plague Engineer is probably better than Back to Basics. And are they both better than Narset? Do I need all 4 Yurikos? I guess all of my creatures die to Lightning Bolt and Red Blast. I think the plan is to just overload those cards rather than try to dodge them, because I just can't dodge them. It can't be done. Do I want the 3rd Plague Engineer or the 1st Back to Basics? I think I'll take the back to basics. Okay. Let's do it. I'm going to keep this hand on the draw. I have basics of each color. Spell Stutter hits most spells out of their deck. And Brazen Borrow is one of my small number of answers to a Murktide Regent. I'll keep Delver. You got it. Cool. I drew a spell. Ponder. Fatal Push? Really? I just get the cleanest answer to Delver in my entire deck. I just could have put it in my hand right now. The only thing I'm thinking about right now is what order I want these cards in. Because if I Fatal Push next turn, I lose whatever the third card is. And do I want Brainstorm or second basic? And I'm pretty sure I want Brainstorm. I also don't have to fetch next turn. I could leave up Spell Stutter for a turn cycle and then like Fatal Push, trying to hold up Spell Stutter to protect it, or just Fatal Push around Daze, hold up Spell Pierce to follow up, or Spell Stutter to follow up. Saying there are choices. We got options. Right, I'm not going to take any action yet. Just going to pass the turn, see what they want to do. Delver flipped, revealing Daze. Do I care about that? No, go ahead. Carry on. I will Fatal Push here. They can't Daze it. They don't have Dragon's Rage Channeler. If they had Channeler, like they passed last turn with mana unspent. If they want to Daze me twice, it's going to set them to 0 lands. Yeah, Force of Will's fine. Deal. Force pitching the Daze. I guess that's a reason to act before they drew Daze, because they can tell Daze is not going to be helpful this game. I like that. Changeling Outcast, which is a fairy for Spell Stutter. Let's have this exchange. Just start whittling down their resources. Like Daze, Red Blast, both get me. Lightning Bolt clears my board if they know how to sequence it. But I need to work through these cards eventually. Yeah, that's fine. Like, once the dust settles, I'm going to try to Brazen Borrow this Delver and then just be stable. That's how I'm drawing this up. Wasteland my Wasteland. Solid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can Murktide here, which would force me to bounce that instead of what I want to bounce. Yuriko. I think I need to Brainstorm. Yeah, looking for lands. Flusterstorm's great. I can put both of these Yurikos away. Like if they just fire off a Ponder or something, I can Spell Stutter it. I'll take the 3, just respecting Murktide Regent wherever I'm able to. Here we go. Feed the beast. Feed the machine. Resolved. It doesn't mean they don't have Lightning Bolt. Okay, wow, that just happened. They're either out of interaction or they're saving it for something they think is more important. But I can Fluster to protect my Yuriko here. Let's start pushing. Maybe I should have answered the Delver before starting the push. Because if they just attack Bolt, oh yikes. I'm going to float black, make them think I have a removal spell. Because they're just going to pass priority anyway. I'm not going to counter a spell with blue mana. At 6, please don't Bolt me. The third Yuriko is definitely what I wanted. Very interested in a land here. A different ninja. Oh, I'm in trouble to a lot of stuff here. I'm going to borrow the Delver in the upkeep before they draw their card. Okay, cool. That just happened. Ugh. Stressful. Just pass straight into their second main phase. Recast the Delver. Now they're going to have hard choices to make about what they want to do with this attack. Ponder shuffled, and then they played land 3/3 Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, they have no difficult decisions to make. That was very easy for them, and now I lose the game. Fuck! Yeah, they really strung that one together, didn't they? Guess I have to leave up Spell Stutter. Delver flipped, revealing Unholy Heat. Alright, I'm dead. Yeah, they just attack for 6 in the air, and there's nothing I can do about it. Bummer. I thought we had that, but that Ponder... I don't know if they found the Channeler or the land. They must have found the Channeler, because they played that game. They must have had the land in their hand, but Channeler showed up. Thought we had it. I think I do like Plague Engineer number 3 on the play. And I'm going to shave a Yuriko. It's just a big commitment to die to Lightning Bolt, Red Blast, just literally every card. Let's go. In we go. Okay, this hand has Island Ponder. More seriously, it has a spread of different types of threats and answers. I wish this underground sea was not an underground sea. I wish it was a swamp or island, but Ponder can hopefully help with that. I'm just going to get the basic and cast my Ponder. Opponent mulled to 6. Okay, Prismatic Vista is exactly the card I was looking for. I get to put Brainstorm in my hand, draw Prismatic Vista, then shuffle away the redundant Yuriko. They've got a Delver for me over there. Okay. I think I want to hold up Spellstutter Sprite for the turn. Just flash it in, even if they don't cast a spell. Please don't flip. All right, well, I'm playing into Daze, but I'm always going to play into Daze in this spot. The upside is too high. They're also on the draw. They might not even have Daze in their deck. Force of Will. Yeah, that's an opponent who doesn't have Daze. Force pitching Murktide Regent. I'm still under the gun to the shit they're doing, but it's not as bad as it could be. Oh, that's why you boarded Plague Engineer on the play. You got a second force, or are we done? I'm going to name Human, which hits Delver and DRC. A little Unholy Heat, sure. 3 for 1, I'll take it. Not even mad. Ooh, Kaito. I think Narset's better than Kaito. Is Yuriko better than both? I'm playing Narset. I don't mind minusing her into bolt range. I do want to get a card off it in case they have Red Blast. Like, they kept this hand for a reason. And the reason wasn't they can protect their Delver. Yeah, they have a bunch of spells. I'm just getting 2 for 1s here. They're down to 3 cards in their hand. I have more cards in hand, more resources in play. I have them covered on every basis right now. I'm going to Brainstorm, see if I can clean this hand up. There we go. Right, I'm going to put the other Brainstorm and the basic Swamp on top. Land Kaito, make a Ninja, and pass the turn. The old Plague Wind Engineer. This game courtesy of. They found their second land. That's not a Murktide Regent. I'll take it. And Ponder. Okay. My Ninja cannot be blocked. Literally can't be blocked by anyone. That's the words on that card, or on this object. Just have to be careful I don't lose the game to a cheesy Murktide. And otherwise, we're driving pretty well right now. My top card is Brainstorm. Bummer. I could have stacked this different, but then I wouldn't have the force in my hand. Never mind. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna cash in on the Yuriko. Blue-black Ninjutsu. This picks up Brainstorm. And then Kaito gets to draw a card. It's Fatal Push. Are you kidding? Yeah. Alright, get rid of that. And now I have Force of Will and Brazen Borrower to keep Murktide Regent off my back, and that was the only thing I was really worried about. Do I want to Brainstorm in response to build Storm, or just cast the Fluster? I do want to protect this thing. I'll Brainstorm in response. Maybe they'll Red Blast it, and I can counter 2 of their spells. No such luck. I'm not going to cast Force of Will this turn, so I put back Force of Will and Brazen Borrower, and then cast Flusterstorm here. Then Yuriko will flip Force of Will when she connects this turn. And I can use Brazen Borrower to make sure she does connect this turn. Cool. I love when a plan works. Bounce your DRC. Then attack for 6 once the Force of Will is revealed. And I don't know my top card anymore, so I'll draw a random card with Kaito. Hacker, cool. I think I want to Ponder. In general, my hand is pretty good right now. Spell, Stutter, Sprite. Yes, please. And I don't want those cards on top. This is the squeakiest, cleanest little Ponder that I could have asked for. If their 3 cards are Murktide Regent with Force of Will backup, that could actually be tough for me. Or I could Spell, Stutter, Sprite a DRC. Brainstorm in response. You got it. They can't daze me here. I have Force if I even care. But if they force, they're hellbent. So yeah, I would definitely force back. I'm going to shuffle away those cards I don't want on the top of the deck. It was 2 more ninjas that I already have. And Circuit Hacker was about to pick up Spell Stutter, draw 3 cards, dealing X damage with Yuriko, and then draw another card with Shizuki. Wow. That was sick. Obviously, insanely lucky game 1, but game 2 and 3, that was pretty back and forth. Plague Engineer, Plague Wind Engineer, FT dubs. Next round. I'm on the play in round 4. I can't mulligan this. Snapping this off. This is why traditional ninjas doesn't play Wasteland, by the way, because you end up in situations like this. Like blue-black on turn 2 is just essential. But I'm going to fetch Underground Sea and draw 2 my hits here. Let's go. Any non-Wasteland draw in the deck is good here, or any non-Wasteland land in the deck is good here. Got the plow. I'm going to push. Let's go. My foot is on the gas pedal. I have 3 Yurikos. This Force of Will. It doesn't get much freer to pitch a card to Force of Will. Come on, colored source off the top deck, please. Yes, had it the whole time. I'm already exposed to Wasteland. Let's just lean in, make sure all my spells are castable. It's Yuriko time. You're in Yuriko's house now. Trigger, show me the Blightsteel. All right, the land, that's fine. Okay. Okay, I recouped the card I lost on the Force of Will. Let's see if they have a second removal spell for Yuriko here. If they do, I can just reload. And now we're moving into the spot where Wasteland might actually pay out. But they did fetch another basic. Brainstorming. And this is a super awkward brainstorm. They fetched, then brainstormed. They're just desperate for this Swords to Plowshares right now. And I'm here for it. They're passing the turn. That's good news. Oh, the Blightsteel. Obviously shows up right after I would have wanted it. Okay. Let's get in there with Yuriko. Smash. This is their last chance to plow it. Now we're in blockers. If they plow it now, I can Yuriko with the other Yuriko. Yeah, they clearly just don't have an answer here. Oh, Satoru. Oh, the nut curve. Forget about Changeling Outcast. I'm putting the screws to him here. It's Blightsteel time. There's kind of a long pause right now. I bet they're wondering if they need to force this thing, or if... Because this is a pretty embarrassing card to Force of Will. But also, you could die. Let's hope they didn't set up Terminus. No Terminus, okay. We're through the draw step. Now I don't care if they have Swords to Plowshares. They need 2 of them to stop everything I'm trying to do. Like, I'm going to keep engineering with Yuriko if they plow Satoru, and I'm just going to Blightsteel Colossus their dome otherwise. We also might get the opportunity to test the does Satoru see himself leave play ability. Because I would pick up Satoru with Blightsteel, not Yuriko. I imagine it works with itself. Like, that seems like bad design if it doesn't. Just really confusing. But we'll see. Okay. Please give this to me. I need it. Okay, here we go. Pick up Satoru. All right, he does not see himself, apparently. All right. Weird design. But you got it. Do you have 2 Swords to Plowshares? Somehow doubt it. They did have 1. Okay. Yeah. Put you to the test. Revealed Snuff out. All right, they're at 8. That was exciting. It's not often in a Yuriko deck that there's a better target for Plow than Yuriko. That was a pretty big deal. And something worth noting, and it doesn't matter right now because all of my ninjas are Yurikos, but if you have enough mana, you can ninjutsu in the Blightsteel. If they plow it, you can ninjutsu it out for something else. Okay, Yuriko, let's go. Let's Yuri go. They have to plow now. Once we get into blockers, I can ninja. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, just... I guess I'm snuffing this out. Like, they saw the snuff out. They just plowed a Blightsteel Colossus. I got life to work with. If they spend a Force of Will on this, I'm not mad about it. Okay, they just flushed the snuff out of my hand. Can we flip the other Blightsteel to complete the trifecta here? Nope, just a land. All right. Toro, get back in there, and Changeling Outcast, get back in there. These are the 2 cards that they know are in my hand anyway. Not revealing any new information. If I could cast the other Outcast, I would. I don't have 3 black for all my spells, but I would definitely make that commitment. Prismatic Ending, you got it. 3-drop Tribal, too powerful. Brainstorm might be able to generate lethal here. Oh, yeah. Put that directly into my veins. And I am going to flip it off Yuriko rather than ninjutsu it in for the style points. I could have done either one. I can't actually do both because they're already dead. Splat! Both halves of the combo in the same game. Turns out you can do whatever you want against opponents who are stuck on 2 mana and can't cast any spells. Nice. We saw Snapcaster Mage again. The Plague Engineer. I will name Human this time. And I like Flusterstorm, I like Narset, I like Bitter Blossom. I don't like Snuff Out. I do like Satoru. They're going to live in fear now. Gave them a taste. I think I am going to shave a Blightsteel, though. And I could shave a Force, or... don't want to shave a Yuriko. I'll shave a Force. No, I'm a tempo deck. Like, against these big, clunky blue decks, I really want my counterspells in. Maybe I'm just off Blightsteel. And that was pretty sweet. Satoru, this ability triggering once, even, is just enormous. Like Moon Circuit Hacker, but now that I know Yuriko doesn't trigger Satoru, it gets a lot worse. Alright, I'm actually going to shave a Satoru. And I could bring in Graph Digger's Cage against their... No, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to bring in Force Negation. If I can keep, like, Teferi and that sort of thing from happening, I should be able to wiggle through most of their 1-for-1 interaction. This hand I am going to keep. It's Island Ponder if I don't spike the Black Source, but if I do spike the Black Source, I just have the Ninja Curve. Let's do the thing. Spike the Black Source. Always had it. Magic is so easy. Why does anyone ever say otherwise? I don't have high hopes for this Changeling Outcast. Like, they're a Swords of Plowshares Prismatic Ending deck. They know what's going on over there at this point. But, like, Ponder to clean this hand up next turn. I can just start hardcasting Yurikos after that. It's not all bad. This Desperate Brainstorm in response is interesting. Do they not have a white source or not have a removal spell? Do they have Force of Will in their hand and they're just trying to figure out if they need to cast it? I don't know. This is weird. This tells us something. It tells us that they don't have Changeling Outcast cleanly answered, one way or the other. Like, they might still answer it, but it might not be how they want to. Yeah, that was suspicious. And they fetched Volcanic Island, which means they must already have a white source. Okay, yeah, there's Tundra. And there's Ending. Okay, yeah. We got there. But that's not a fetch land, which is noteworthy because they're going to have to work through that entire Brainstorm. And drawing Swamp means I can just Ponder off my Underground Sea. I was going to play Island and Ponder in case I found Thoughtseize, but now I have a Black Source anyway. Third Yuriko and Brainstorm. I do like Brainstorm. I do not like third Yuriko. I can just Ponder again and clear this now, or I could take the draw step, fetch, play Yuriko. Yeah, I think I like fetching and casting a Yuriko, starting to work my way through these. Then spewing off a Ponder for just a shuffle right now. Okay. Caracas makes Yuriko a whole lot worse. Good thing I have Brainstorm. Narset. Well, time to Brainstorm. Now or never. And this is going to be a really ugly Brainstorm. I'm going to end up with 3 Yurikos in my hand when the dust settles here. Yuck. Yeah, that was devastating. I would have rather played against Teferi. If they didn't have the Caracas, I wouldn't even mind this so much. Like, yeah, all the pieces are together here. Oh, and there's Teferi. Yeah, we're just getting pummeled this game. Use my Flooded Strand to fetch Polluted Delta. I mean, the casting Yuriko does Rashad import them. Like, they do it. It does cost them a white mana to answer this thing. Wasteland is in my deck if they try to get cute. They Prismatic and... or no, they bounced Yuriko with Caracas and then cast Brainstorm. That's weird. What's the rush? Why Caracas this thing immediately? Huh. Yeah, that's weird. They could have, like, played Teferi and bounced Yuriko, but I guess they're worried about a counterspell in that case. Moon Circuit Hacker is decent. I can Ponder just to look at the top cards in my deck. I don't get to draw. I'm going to shuffle this. Force of Will is not going to help me in this. universe that I'm about to be in, which is the universe of Teferi. And I'm not gonna, I guess playing Hacker commits them to bouncing it with Teferi. Shark Typhoon. Okay. I can just kill Yuriko if they have a land. Alright, they're moving on 3 mana for something. This is probably the Teferi. There's a possibility they mess up with the Caracas, like messing up ninjutsu, letting me get into the blocker step, but they just aggro bounced on their own turn last turn. Yeah, this opponent is not gonna accidentally end up in the blocking phase. Oh, my very own. Let's try this one. 6 cards in hand. What are the chances none of them are counterspells? 0%. Moon Circuit Hacker doesn't even work because of Narset. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna concede this game. We missed our window to do anything here. We'll just go to game 3, save everyone that misery. Okay, the Narset Teferi business makes me think I just want all 6 forces. I did bring in 1 extra so that to hedge against that, but I need to push harder. I'm on the play, which will make all of this better. I think maybe Satoru without Blightsteel in the deck at all is just bad. Or maybe Plague Engineer is too cute and unnecessary. Yeah, Satoru has the fear factor, and it can generate card advantage without drawing cards. This is pretty important. Okay, let's do it. It's also blue for these 6 forces that are in my deck right now. And we're 3 for 3 on turn 2 Yuriko draws. Keep. First appearance of Kaito. He's probably good in this matchup. It's cool that this card is printed with pronouns on it. Like it specifically says at the beginning of your end step, Kaito enter the battlefield this turn, he phases out. Normally cards are like inanimate or like I'm just being careful not to misgender cards, which can be hard with like tree folk and shit. But yeah, it's nice of them to just say he phases out. Now we know. Opponent's on 6. I'm going to use Flooded Strand to get Underground Sea. Polluted Delta can get either basic. So if I'm getting the non-basic, just use the less flexible land. Don't think I need to hedge against land destruction in this matchup. Just cast Ponder and then lose, please. Prismatic Vista. All right. Is that getting a Plains? Are you committing to that life? Oh, Force Will. All right. I was about to say, like, maybe I just hold up Spell Stutter. If they want to get clever, waiting for the Yuriko for the Plow, then I'll get clever and have Spell Stutter on 2 for whatever they do instead. Okay. Oh, they just fucked up by letting me go to my turn. Yeah, they're going to regret that one. I refuse to play around back to basics. If they juke me and back to basics, they got me. Here's Spell Stutter Sprite. Yeah, that feels good every single time. It protects the first creature and creates a second creature. Now they can't keep me off creatures. They have to save the Plow for the Yuriko, which can be dangerous in its own ways. And I have a second non-ninja creature, so I get 2 Yuriko triggers. JK, I get 0. Fuck me. Oh, but they're tapping Caracas? Why? Why would you do that? You have basic planes. You have basic planes. Oh my god. Do I just take... And I'll recoup this card advantage right away when the Yuriko connects, but the Caracas is a problem. I'm forcing this. I'm pitching Spell Stutter. I could force pitching Yuriko, just accept that Caracas is going to control this game, but they tap the Caracas to do this. If they tap the planes, then this all just happens because Yuriko is useless anyway. I don't know what just happened. Shocking. Shocking turn of events. I do like the land. I probably should have Yuriko'd first and tried to hit Wasteland off my 2 draws. So I attack. You can't block. Yuriko. Pick up Spell Stutter. Wonder why your Caracas is tapped. Question your life. Swords to Plowshares when Caracas is already in play. Okay. Alright. They could have done that a lot cleaner. But okay, here we are. That does make sense in its own weird way. Like, if you're worried about Wasteland, like, if you tap basic planes to cast the Prismatic Ending on your turn, and then I play Wasteland, waste your Caracas, and then attack and get you with... Oh, like so. Nice. I'm going to play Wasteland, attack, and then waste in combat. Because Kaito cares if I attack, and if I just waste them, they might do something different. All right. I have attacked now. That did happen. We're going to get spell stuttered here. Or snapcastered here. I will counter that with my spell stutter. Stutter it. Did I stutter? This does get broken up by another plow in hand. Gotta hope they don't have one, I guess. But they've played so many removal spells. How many could they possibly have? Yeah, get out of here. This game's had a lot of decisions involved in it on both sides. Really interesting. I guess the big thing that I spewed off on was I should have read that they were leaving up Swords to Plowshares. Like, tapping the Caracas is so weird that I should have identified that they had Plow and just cast Kaito that turn instead of ninjaing Yuriko. And then I would just have this draw engine online. There's a Ponder. Now they're down to 3 cards in hand and only 2 lands in play. Like, they need to ponder into lands here just to even play the game. But the Kaito will take over the game very quickly, and 2 damage turn is a lot in a game state like this. If it was just Changeling, 15 turns versus 8 turns, very different thing. Did not shuffle their library. Interesting. Thoughtseize. I'm not going to cast that. Not yet. Let's see what happens in combat. I'm going to Kaito and hope I draw a Black Source. The best card they could have is like Narset or Teferi. And if they force this, it'll cost them both the cards in their hand. If they don't force this, I'm going to draw a bunch of extra. And if I just plus and hit a Black Source and get to do it all, I'm just going to swing for the fences. I think I'm far enough ahead to just keep pushing. Draw a card. Black Source. Okay, not a Black Source. It is a Ninja. That's cool. And Kaito phases out. I can't Prismatic Ending him this turn. Let's see if Narset is what was left in the bottom of the bucket here. Teferi, okay. Well, if Teferi bounces one of these creatures, it dies to the other. Okay, I can Thoughtseize up front. I think that's actually good. I want to know what I need to plan for. Flusterstorm, Force of Will. Alright, well, I'm mostly done casting spells this game. I'm going to take their Fluster. I'm going to make them 2 for 1 if they're going to get a counter anywhere. And I'm going to attack Teferi. I don't think I'm going to Circuit Hack this turn. I think I want to do that next turn. Yeah, it deals damage to a player. If it was player or planeswalker, I would have done it this turn, but that's not what that card says. It simply is not the text on the card. It's also my blue card for Force. And I know that their hand is just Force of Will right now. We're drawing 2 cards a turn, maybe 3. I'm not going to force that as much as I want to. Narset. That one is getting forced. Does it need to? I guess, does this need to be forced? I think so. Yeah, I don't need to play with fire right now. Just get that powerful permanent out of here. I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. You're not. The Narset also clears the Brainstorm, and I don't want them to be able to do that either. Oh, drew the card I wanted anyway. Yeah, drawing 3 cards this turn and picking Spellstutter back up, which is like functionally drawing 4 cards, is it's a mood. And it's a good mood. So they take 3. I draw a card. Yes, I'd like to draw a card. Stop asking me silly questions. And plus, well, yeah, I'll just drop another Outcast and hold up Spellstutter Sprite for 3. I was never going to cast Satoru there. Even if I didn't draw 1 drop, I would have just left up the 3 for Spellstutter. I will jam this on anything it can target. If they tricked me somehow, good job. But I'm here to draw extra cards and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. My opponent just said that interaction is broken. They must not play Pauper. Can I get more ninjas? Keep this going. Oh, Force and Negation should end the game. Yeah, they're on a 2-turn clock, and Force is a counter for any removal spell. Yeah, that should get it done. I am going to loot Satoru out of my hand. Well, probably Satoru. Ooh. Disappointing that you showed up after damage. And I'm going to keep drawing cards. Yeah, let's pile it the fuck on right now. We know Force of Will is in the mix here somewhere. Because they couldn't shuffle the Brainstorm, so they have one card in their hand and then also Force of Will. All right, they just have Force of Will in hand. I'm gonna go for the world's biggest Yuriko trigger. Oh, we got the GGs in the chat. I mean, I know that, but let's see if they let me do the world's nastiest. They conceded before Yuriko could get 5 triggers. All right, GGs. On to the final round. I'm on the play in the final round. Positive record locked. Playing for the 4-1. I'm going to keep this. It looks good. First turn 1 Thoughtseize I've had in Legacy in a very long time. This is just not a card that gets played in the format. And I am going to Thoughtseize them and get a look at what they're doing. And then that lets me sequence my cantrips better. They also appear to be just F6'd. Okay. We have some sort of blue control deck. I probably want to take one of the Ponders. Yeah, I'm going to take one of the Ponders. And Spell Stutter will likely line up with a cantrip next turn. Like, I suspect them to go Island Preordain now, and then next turn they'll try to Ponder with a fetch land available. This could be High Tide. There's just a lot of blue cards, and Preordain generally isn't in control decks. I don't know, I just get High Tide vibes from what's going on right now. Okay, if they're a High Tide deck, I want to Ponder this turn instead. Like, I want to hit High Tide with Spell Stutter Sprite, not anything else. Kaito, Hacker. And I want the land next turn. And I think Kaito is better. No, I can Hacker and Spell Stutter next turn. Yeah, that's the line. Do not shuffle my library. Play Changeling Outcast and ship it. This does let them dress down my Ninja, so it doesn't draw a card. But it still attacks for 2 and draws cards in the future. Kinda. And if they just don't dress down, then they wasted their turn cycle. Oh, if they dress down in the end step, that turns off Spell Stutter Sprite. Wow, that's fucked up. Don't approve of that. Oh, nope, just a white control deck. They got me good. End step dress down. Yeah, sure. That looks smart to them because they don't know what I'm actually working with over here, which is Spell Stutter Sprite. I'll just attack for 1, pass the turn. Pass the turn with Spell Stutter on 2. Maybe I'll counter a Ponder. Yeah, they tapped white mana and then backed off it. I'm sensing some shenanigans here. Ponder. Okay, if I Spell Stutter the Ponder, I'm left with 2 creatures in play. Yeah, I'm just going to stutter this. And even if they have removal, they can't stop my Ninja. Or, because I have 2 fairies in play. Yeah, 2 fairies, 2 creatures. Probably Prismatic Ending my Outcast here. Like I even care. Yeah, that's gone. They have done a lot of cantripping this game, though. Snapcaster Mage in their hand, alongside 4 mystery cards, most of which were put there with cantrips on purpose. They chose not to shuffle their deck here. The Kaito versus Hacker question is kind of interesting, but I think I just want to hack. Yeah, let's hack. Kaito plays through Dress Down, Hacker doesn't. Right now they're tapped out of removal, but they are always representing Force of Will because that's how Force of Will works. If I can get through a turn dancing around things that they might have, that makes me feel better about things that they do have later. And I'm just going to pass the turn holding up Spell Stutter. I don't need to play this Outcast. It's not really adding anything. Very Time Raveler, powerful spell. I'm going to Spell Stutter in response. At least leave a body in play to pressure the Teferi. Bouncing my Hacker. Okay. Please don't have a plow. Okay, I'm going to attack Teferi. Even as much as I would like to connect with Yuriko, I think Teferi is going to mess up this game a lot for me. Okay, Teferi is gone. And I think it's Shizuki time. Or I could Brainstorm and Outcast. Yeah, I'm actually going to Brainstorm. I'd like to hit a land drop. Oh, not possible. But if I put back Blightsteel and Yuriko, then Yuriko will flip Blightsteel next turn. Yeah, that was a disappointing miss on the land. I was really into that. But now I have Force of Will pushing forward with the Yuriko. They haven't found a plow yet, so Snapcaster Mage doesn't interact with my creatures at instant speed. If my creatures connect next turn, the Blightsteel is lethal. It's 12 plus 2. Oh, now I only need one creature to connect. The Yuriko, basically. Passing the turn. Oh, not passing. Oh, they're dressing down in the end step. Do I care about that? I can just wait. Yeah. All right. No, it's fine. I'm not going to get that aggressive about this. I can just play Shizuki and draw an extra card. Yeah, I'll attack for 2, play Shizuki. Then I can brainstorm the Blightsteel on top of the deck next turn anyway. There he is. Kaito Shizuki. Brainstorm in response. That's an oh shit moment. Like, uh-oh. Better find a counterspell for that one. This will actually be a tough choice if they force this, if I want to force back. And I think that I do. Like, I get the card advantage back immediately. Yeah, I'm going to pitch my hacker to force this back. Oh wow, force back again. Their last card in hand is Snapcaster Mage, which means they're dead to Yuriko. The top of their deck has to be good here. Okay, I'm going to attack with my creatures. Both of these. Okay, Yuriko. Pick up Spell Stutter. What are we doing here? 4 mana. For what? It's a lot of mana. Ooh. March of the Otherworldly Light. Exile. Alright, I'm going to take a swing at brainstorming into Force for the win. I didn't find Force for the win. Disappointing. If I had brainstormed pre-combat, I would have had the land to ninja this back out. Alright, Blightsteel's out of this game. And I don't think I need this swamp either. Okay, that's gone. That was cool. Yeah, I messed that up. If I brainstorm pre-combat, then I can ninja Circuit Hacker in, pick it back up, and they have to act in blockers because Yuriko wasn't in play before that point. Okay, Snapcaster gets to Prismatic Ending. What does this actually do? Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. Okay, it's just an X spell that you can 2-for-1 yourself to cast a little bigger. Alright, it's mostly just unexpectedly absent. Maybe worse. Okay, I'm gonna fetch a swamp. Do I need another swamp? I don't think so. I'm actually just gonna fetch an island. Alright, turns out didn't need any of it. I can snuff the Snapcaster if I care. I mean, this isn't getting better. Snuff out Snapcaster Mage. And I'll cast Spell Stutter. I'm going to represent the ninja, which I do actually have. And I have Plow Beat. Oh, baby. We're going all the way into Ninja Town. Alright, so I have Plow Beat here. And if they have another one of those, March of the Wooden Soldier, I can ninja back. Okay. There's Blightsteel Colossus back in my hand. Never get tired of seeing that guy. I'm not going to rag on Blightsteel too much. We have at least one game that we wouldn't have won without him. And now I can do the Flip Ninja thing to keep drawing extra cards. All right, please don't have Paul Breacher. Jeez. All right. Did we get there on the Blightsteel? I can do the double ninja here if they do have removal. Yuriko for the win. Oh yes, triggers on the stack. Tick 12. Splat. Can't 1-for-1 ninjas. You gotta get a planeswalker and really pull ahead. Okay, a lot of fair blue matchups since that tough round against lands in round 1. Really get to focus in this control matchup plan that we're working with. Snuffs out. Thoughtseize is still good. Yeah, Satoru and Blightsteel can get smaller. Yeah, I think this is all I'm going to do. Leaving one of each, Satoru and Blightsteel. All 6 forces. Yep, this looks familiar. In we go. I'm not going to mess with Plague Engineer till they show me a real creature I need to answer. I'm keeping this hand. Changeling Outcast is the card that can put the fear in your opponent. Like, they might just fire off a Prismatic Ending or something on this thing that my hand doesn't actually leverage at all. Or I might just draw Yuriko, as we've seen me do multiple times in this league when I had nothing else going on. Another Outcast. Wow. All right. Yeah, they just went Prismatic Vista Go. I have Changeling Outcast. They can plow in the end step. If they do that, they're committing their first land to be basic plains, which makes your cantrips really shitty. I know, I've lived that life a lot. They can end this one. I have a backup with Fluster protection. I would like to ponder this turn, but I think holding up Fluster is going to do more for me. Because at 3 mana, I can ponder, find Yuriko and Yuriko all together. If they just Teferi here, I'm going to be really disappointed. Shit. That's definitely what's happening. Bummer. Should have pondered. Oh, there's Force of Will. Ponder would have found that. Counter the Teferi. Yeah, life gets a lot better if you play correctly. However, here we go. Basic Swamp Life. Outcast. Another Outcast. Putting the screws to that Teferi. God, 2 counter spells in my hand. One that couldn't counter Teferi, and then immediately drawing the counter Teferi after Teferi's in play. Life is pain. Spell Stutter, yeah, that's a good one a lot of the time, but not this time. Okay, now only one of these has to actually make it 2 damage. And I am attacking Teferi. My hand is just full of blanks right now. Oh. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Yeah, my creatures are dead. And I'm gonna just cast Moon Circuit Hacker, I think. Yeah, let's just put that card into play. Supreme Verdict is very good against ninjas, even when they don't have Teferi, which they currently do, which makes it even better. I'm going to ignore Teferi. I'm going upstairs. Another Supreme Verdict. Oh, the Wandering Emperor. This is fun. Create a 2/2 Samurai. Okay. I can block this. All right. San Marino. Exile a tapped creature, you gain 2 life. Isn't that the same? Oh, no, it's -1, not -2. Okay, I get it. I see. All right, we're not winning this game. I've seen enough. I missequenced my things. I should have pondered on the turn that I held up Flusterstorm. Just fundamental misunderstanding of what the play pattern should be on the play versus the draw. And I'm out. Okay. I don't think the deck improves. I do like the sideboard plan. We just need to sequence the spells correctly. All right, I got another start with Outcast. We're doing it. And this time I actually do have a ninja. Get my Underground Sea. And let's cast this out. See if they have a 1 mana removal spell and that they choose to use it right now. If we get to my turn, I can Fluster. Cool. Looks like I'm hacking. Trying to decide if it matters. All right, yeah. I want to not use my fetch land. It does matter. Because I have all these brainstorms, I can use those later with the fetch land and jam Outcast. Like, this is the difference between play draw. I get to just cast all these things, and I don't have to worry about Teferi or Narset until after I'm already attacking twice. I'm worried about Supreme Verdict. Got to pay attention to that one. But not for several turns from now. And now they have the decision, even if they do have Swords to Plowshares, do you take out the Outcast who, like, goes off with Yuriko, or do you take out the card? It's currently drawing cards. Prismatic Ending doesn't give you the choice. Come on, Yuriko. Oh, Spell Stutter. I'm gonna brainstorm and see if I can come up with a more explosive situation. I don't think I'm gonna need Wasteland this game or Prismatic Vista. I'm gonna attack and shuffle these cards I don't want. Get the other Underground Sea. And I'm going to hack with my other hacker. Just want raw card advantage here. Not looting. And Changeling Outcast. I'm going to commit another creature because if they Teferi this turn, they can bounce one, I kill the other. I kill Teferi with the other. And the Outcast represents the other hacker. It's also a fairy for Spell Stutter. Snapcaster. Looks like Prismatic Ending is going to happen to my Outcast. Not a lot of removal in the deck right now. This Spell Stutter is going to represent a real blocker. Brainstorm. Okay, this is a lot of good action, at least. I'm going to put back Swamp and I think the other Brainstorm. Or I could put back Hacker for now. Probably should have just attacked first. A Swamp and backup Hacker. Yeah, Brainstorm is better than Hacker. And I'm just going to trade off. Let's empty the material from the board. If that's the game they want to play, I'll agree to it. I can hardcast Force of Negation this turn, or I could Spell Stutter and Fluster together. I'm just going to end step Spell Stutter. That turns on the Hacker in my hand, or on top of the deck. Attack. Hack. Spell Stutter, Swords to Plowshares. And I'm going to shuffle in response to this trigger. I don't want to draw the Swamp on top of my deck. Get another basic island. Draw. Okay. Get a land drop. Wasteland's a little awkward, but I'm not going to complain about it. And I'm just going to pass here with my Wall of Counter Magic up. None of it's going to help against Supreme Verdict, but I'm going to do what I can against spot removal or Teferis. All right. They know about Spell Stutter. This has to be a trick, but I'm still going to cast the cards I have. Wow. All right. Ponder's just in the graveyard. And now they're going to Prismatic Ending, and I'm going to Fluster. Storm is a million thanks to their goofing around. They might just be walking me into Supreme Verdict right now, which I can respect. But I am going to have a turn to try to cash out here. Come on, ninja. Brainstorm, find me a ninja. Uh-oh. Well, I'm in some trouble here. Hacker still gets another loot this turn. They took 3. I'm going to fetch before the loot. Another island. Just really don't need that much black mana. Loot. Found Ponder. I'll discard Force of Will, and then I can cast Ponder. Keep things going. Changeling Outcast, another Ponder. Ponder's good. Changeling Outcast isn't. But I will take the Ponder. And I have a looter in play. I don't have to... Every card doesn't have to be perfect from here. And this also gives me Hardcast, Force of Negation, Pitchcast Force if I need to fight through 2 things this turn. I imagine, yeah, it's Supreme Verdict time. They've been walking me into that one for quite some time. Not surprised. Ponder. Let's find a creature. Yes, okay. I get to put Spell Stutter Sprite in my hand, cast Changeling Outcast. I can Spell Stutter a 2-drop this turn, and Yuriko's on top of my deck right now. I'm going to be really aggressive with Spell Stutter if they give me the option. Not that aggressive. Not aggressive enough to 2-for-1 myself. They forced me back. I'm going to force their force. That way Teferi gets exiled. I don't think that matters, but here we are. All right, Swords to Plowshares. All right. The dust has settled. The top of my deck is Yuriko, and they have 1 card in their hand plus 1 mystery card. Bang. Go. Don't kill me. My top card is Prismatic Vista. I need this Yuriko to connect at least once. Preordain. We're in the home stretch now. We got a base race. They kept a card on the top. That's bad. Oh, it was Brainstorm. Maybe that's good. They're out of blue mana, but white spells are the important ones here. They can't Prismatic Ending Yuriko no matter what they do. If their hand after the Brainstorm is white card plus that weird exile spell we saw, they can 2-for-1 themselves to remove Yuriko. The nightmare is that they just have Swords to Plowshares. Land Snapcaster is really bad. I'm just trying to think of 2-card combinations that destroy me. Okay. Plains, Plow. All right, and now they're Hellbent, and so am I. Yikes. I don't know the card under Prismatic Vista, so I'm just not going to play it. Please don't follow up with Narset. Jesus. All right, well, they didn't follow up with Narset, but they did have all these great cards. Come on, deck, help me out here. Oh. That one plays. Would have been better last turn, but I'm in. Not going to complain about Bitter Blossom off the top. These Vigilant Samurais are pretty rough. Put a +1 counter on a creature against first strike. Okay. That is pretty potent, and I don't have removal in my deck right now. I'm going to need to back this up with something else. Come on, deck. Keep it coming. I will take the Ponder. I'm going to shuffle my deck, and then cast the other Ponder. And I am just doing this now. I have Planeswalkers in my deck. Like so, old Kato Shizuki. I actively don't want Thoughtseize this match. My life total matters a lot right now. Old Kamigawa face-off here in the Legacy queue. They've drawn 1 mystery card since this board stabilized. Hope it's not Force of Will. Oh, I can just loot. Oh, but I can kill the Wanderer if I make a ninja. Yeah, I'm making a ninja. Because their creatures don't fly. I have a flyer and an unblockable, and Wanderer has a +1 ability. And they do get to blast me for 5. Oh, Jesus, it's so much worse than that. All right, now ninjutsu's off. I'm in trouble. Yeah, them just suddenly coming up with a bunch of creatures the turn I drew Bitter Blossom was really bad. Yeah, they're gonna mush me for 1,000,000 here. Can't block. That's not... If I'm blocking, I'm losing. And Prismatic Vista, I know I'm not can't draw Thoughtseize this turn. Get rid of that. I need a lot of things to go right. I'm gonna attack the Wandering Emperor. What do I need to do? I need to like draw Yuriko off the top right now. Or Umezawa's good. I'm just dead. Block, dead. Alright, GG's. Yeah, the Wandering Emperor made a lot of pressure really quickly on that otherwise stable board. The dust settled and they broke it open first. I think if I had Bitter Blossom the turn earlier, I might have been able to stabilize against that, but obviously that's not what happened. We did put up a 3-2 with the Neon Dynasty Mythic Rare sheet, basically. Just tried a little bit of everything here, and I guess this is just a regular rare. I think that the Satoru Umezawa thing is a little cute. We did get some Blightsteel kills on both Yuriko triggers and on ninjutsus, which is pretty great. That is fun to do, though Satoru not triggering off himself for the card advantage ability and not triggering off Yuriko for the card advantage ability is pretty bad. If we could more regularly just anticipate off this guy, I think he would be worth the slot, but the deck doesn't actually do a lot of that. Spellstutter Sprite was pretty cool. I do like that interaction, and I do like that the package was light. Like, we don't need Bitter Blossom and Vendilion Click and all these fairies to make Spellstutter Sprite a playable Magic card. It countered all sorts of good stuff this league. Kaito Shizuki, I thought this one was going to be the joke. I was just like, okay, it has some mild ninja theme. I guess we'll play it. But this was actually really good. The steady card advantage it provides is just really bonkers. And just being a creature when you need that and being card advantage after that. Yeah, Kaito is worth the slot here. I don't know if you have room for it in a more traditional ninja build with Retrofitter Foundries and everything. Like, I just don't know where the deck space comes from. But in this more like tempo-oriented version, it's really cool. If I were getting serious about this deck, I would probably cut Satoru and Blightsteel Colossus for like 2 Ingenious Infiltrator, and then you get 2 flex slots. Like, at some point you have too many ninjas. The Blightsteel Colossus slots, you can decide if you want another evasive threat. Like, maybe Vendilion Click does come back in. Maybe you main deck 2 Bitter Blossoms. That would be pretty cool. That would give the Spellstutter plan some depth while also giving you attackers for the ninjas. Maybe you go that direction. That's how I would build the fairy tempo version of ninjas. If I were going to build the Satoru Umezawa version of ninjas and just go 4 of this, and LFG, I would be playing Cavern of Souls for one. Just make sure Satoru resolves, make sure your Changing Outcast resolves. I don't know how many. Maybe you get 4, but you don't get Wasteland in that world. Maybe this deck needs Wasteland, though, because Satoru is a legend. Okay, I don't actually know how to build the Satoru Umezawa combo deck, but I would have Cavern of Souls in that deck. I would keep some small number of Wasteland just out of respect for Caracas, and you would need something else to do with your Blightsteel Colossus when it's not... If you're playing 4 of this, you really need to plan for it. Looting it away with Kaito is not bad. Maybe you just play 3 Kaitos and you loot more, but Moonsircuit Hacker is also a looter. Yeah, you're actually pretty good at looting away dead Blightsteels with the Neon Dynasty ninja loot effect, like the fake raid. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there is a deck there. I think that, I mean, I would always err on the side of tempo and steady advantage over a big clunky combo in Legacy, just because the card pool is so good at answering things. But there are two decks here, and this was a fun connection between the two. But you and there's probably more refinement on this version as well if you want to dig into it. Maybe you play one Blightsteel and you just frantically dig for it when it's Umezawa time. Play another Kaito. Or play an Ingenious Infiltrator in this slot. And then, yeah, I'm going down a rabbit hole here. I'm trying to build 3 decks at once. I'm just going to sign off. There are 3 decks here. Feel free to explore any of them. Let me know how it goes. Tag me in your Twitter screenshots when you get to ninja somebody. I love seeing that stuff. Iron Bars, thank you for sticking with me all these months when we were trying to figure out how to make your deck work on Magic Online. I think this was a cool alternate option. We did the thing with Yuriko. We did the thing with Satoru. We did a regular ninja thing. And we found a secret sleeper hit in Kaito Shizuki, in Legacy Staple Kaito Shizuki. Not bad. Thanks, Iron Bars, for the deck. Everyone else, thanks for watching. And I will see you for the next one.